Well, aloha kakahiaka, everybody. Kakahiaka means aloha kakahiaka means good morning in Hawaiian. Welcome, everybody, and good morning. You're on the the Aloha Friday Hawaii Real Estate Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got, as usual, a really fun lineup for you today. We've got a couple of things we're going to be talking about. I got my friends here with me, but let me kind of throw this screen back on the other way and just to not have some distractions over here. So we got some Hawaii news coming for you. It's always kind of fun stuff. We try to pick up stories that are going to be interesting for you. We're going to have some market updates, and of course, your questions are the most important ones of all. We're going to go over some diamonds and deals from properties that our friends think are really cool and look to examine. And finally, we're going to close with some motivational thoughts. So if you're not watching this live, which is, I mean, if it's not the 21st of June at 9 o'clock Hawaii time right now for you, you're watching this recorded, you're on YouTube probably. Click through, we have chapters. You can look at the bottom, there's chapters you can click through, go right to the segment that you want to go to. But what we've got to go to now is we have to warm up. We have to warm up our microphones. And I am going to, the microphone warm up is going to come with our friends over here. We've got Dylan Nonaka, who's hailing from the Big Island. We've got Heidi Dallinger, who's coming from Maui. And we have Ashley Wasan, who is hailing from Oahu. Why don't we go around and kind of get those mics warmed up? I think it's Dylan's turn. Dylan, we have a ritual, folks. We go through shirts for Dylan, and we go through coffee for Heidi. And Ashley, we still have to kind of think about what's your thing? Is it the rain? I'm not too sure, but let's start with Dylan. Dylan, what's the shirt today, and what's happening on the Big Island? Warm up the microphones for us, will you?
No, it's living hula like it always is. I don't know if I've ever worn this one on the show before. I was one that was like in the closet, and I was like, hey, it's been a while since I grabbed this one. So this one has all of the, when they make bamboo and then they carve out the patterns, and then you use that to stamp the cloth, right? So it's a bunch of different patterns of the stamps that they make out of bamboo. So it's a cool little vibe. So everything's good over here in Kona. It's beautiful day. The weather's been awesome. It actually was a relatively dry week. It's been pretty wet. We've been almost having to cut the grass every week, and so that's how I judge what the rain is doing, because when you got to cut the grass every week, it's raining a lot, and we need some drier weather because it gets old, especially when you got like a humongous yard to cut. So
I was going to say, speaking of someone from Kona, which is historically always a dry place almost all the time, that's quite that's quite a mouthful. Hey, I've got a question for you, Dylan. Honest Abe question here. How many years was that shirt in the closet? That's what I want to know. How many years?
Gotta be like 5 or 6, I think.
There you go. See,
yeah, because this is one of the very first ones I ever got, and I got a bunch of new ones. So I wear the new ones more often, and so yeah. But it's been a while.
Awesome. That's what I wanted to hear. I was expecting like 10. 10 would have made me really happy, but 5 or 6 is pretty good.
I definitely have 25-year-old Aloha shirts that have been there. So,
there you go,
yes,
man.
Absolutely.
There you go, girls. There you go, girls. Guys with clothes that are 25 years old. That we're not keeping for like a keepsake. We actually use these shirts. Some of our favorite shirts are 20 years old, 30 years old. Hey, before we move on to Heidi, I want to say hi here to Misty Padilla, Aloha Kakahiaka family. Welcome, Misty. Good to see you again.
Misty will actually be hosting next week show. So
all right.
Welcome, Misty. Yeah.
Welcome, Misty. And good luck on your show next week. And also Judy is with us. Judy is a alumni of the Islander Ohana. Welcome, Judy. Great to see you. I'm so glad that you're one of the regulars. Hey, folks, look, if you're visiting us, if you're online with us right now, let us know where you're from. Throw a quick aloha in the chat. And let us know where you're from. It's always kind of fun to get a feel for where people are coming from. It's always neat. And speaking about where people are coming from, where are you coming from, Heidi? And what's the coffee today?
It's a gorgeous day here on Maui. I've already been out showing properties early this morning, 8 a.m. and 8:30. And now I'm back home and enjoying a cup of coffee, but trying not to drink too much because I'm meeting somebody for coffee after this, so I don't want to overdo it. Just drinking some water.
So I was going to say, if you that's an early morning riser to go up and show some properties at 8 a.m. You must have had a cup of coffee to go show the properties, right? Or did you go coffee free? How did you do it, Heidi? How do you do that?
I usually drink water first thing in the morning, and then after I'm up for a couple hours, then I get some coffee. So
Wow, a couple hours. That's pretty good here. Let's before we move on to and get Ashley's update, let's say hi to a few of our friends. NYC, I like that. I like that wordplay. Aloha, hot and humid NYC. Well, welcome. What's the temperature? So NYC, give us since you mentioned weather, we need to know the temperature and I need to know the humidity. If you've got it, if you don't have it, don't worry about it. And Kinaya is with us. Aloha, Kinaya. Always great to have you. Inspirational and fun. Kinaya is also an alumni of the Honor Hana. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Kinaya, you were one of the first. You were on the first cohort several years ago, which is really, really cool. And Heather is with us. Heather, great to see you, Heather. How are you doing? Aloha from Honolulu. Heather is also a member, a alumni of the Honor Ohana. Welcome, Heather. Hey, Heather. I need to talk to you about Auntie Jean. I haven't seen Auntie Joan for a while. Hope she's doing well. If you have any update on Auntie Joan, let us know. 94 degrees and rising, says NYC. Yeah. Yeah, this is the fun part, right? Hawaii is like we're of course warmer in the winter, and paradoxically we're cooler in the summer than most of the mainland, which is like just relish. So speaking of cooler in the summer, you're pretty cool, Ashley. What's going on over there? How are you? What's going on the windward side? We need to come up with a thing for you. What's going to be your thing, Ashley? I don't know.
I mean, you've said earrings before, but I don't think that's my thing. I mean,
Not your thing.
at least
Okay.
I don't have enough to go through a bunch of shows at different ones. Dogs and environmental things are my things.
Well, then you have to bring a dog with you, like on the show. You have to kind of bring a dog or a picture of a dog, or you gotta do something. But anyway, what's going on how's the windward side? How are you doing, Ashley? You're muted.
It is total summer vibes in our house. We've got all the kids that come from the mainland. The house is full. Every room is full. So people are in the pool. They're going to the beach. I love that summer, energy. So we're getting some rain right now, and it's nice because my grass is burning. So to Dylan opposing, my grass is not growing. It's burning. Got to get my sprinkler systems working. But I love the summer and the summer market, everything about it. It's just this and then Christmas. I don't really like anything in between.
There's something just really cool about, if you think about, our childhood, those summer months and, not having to go to school and being able to play around and stay out late. And back as a young child, living in the Midwest, having those long summer days where the sun doesn't go down till sunsets at 8 o'clock and riding your bikes around. That was fond memories.
It really, even from the parental side, it's stressful during summer because you have to figure out programs and what to do. And I decided that I'm just going to really enjoy it. It's our last year in single digits. We're building forts, we're doing all of the things, and I'm not stressing about it. I'm just really enjoying every minute of it.
How cool to be hanging out with Auntie Ashley on a summer break. If I was a mainland kid coming to Hawaii for the summer, that's tough to beat. Hey, let's say hi to a few more of our friends who are checking in. We've got Monica Martinez. Aloha, Monica from Kailua Kona. How's it? It's Friday. Yes, indeed. Friday. Boy, there is something. It's been a while since I've never had a real job, but there is something cool about thank God it's Friday. There was that wonderful feeling about Friday. I am with you. Monica. Thanks for joining us. Steve, welcome back, Steve. Good to see you, buddy. Aloha from Utah. We're finally into beautiful summer weather here. We're in upper 90s this weekend. Enjoy. Well, Utah gets kind of cold, right? And yeah, of course it does. There's skiing there and everything. So enjoy the upper 90s. Bob Carl's back with us. Hey, Bob, welcome back. Aloha from Hawaii Kai Peninsula. Sorry, I've been AWOL for a couple shows. Nothing to be sorry about, Bob. Nothing to be sorry about. We're just glad to have you here. Heather had for Auntie Joan yesterday, but we still need a good catch-up session. Yes, we do. We need a good cat. I need to reach out to her and have her kind of join us again. I miss her. I miss Auntie Joan's vibe. She's been a regular on the show, everybody. Steve says, yeah, Ashley, completely with you, except I hate spring as well, when everything is blooming and life is optimistic. Yes, the rebirth of spring. It is remarkable. My daughter just came back from my daughter lived on the mainland for a couple of years, actually, and she just came back home permanently just last week. And she was telling me how much she enjoyed the season. That was like a new experience for her, that there was actually seasons going on, and she was going to miss that part of it. So cool. Hey, and Lahea 1002 is with us. Aloha kakahiaka. Welcome, Lahea. Hey, so folks, if you just joined us, do make sure you let us know where you're from. It's always kind of neat to see where people are from. If you haven't yet, give us a shout out. Tell us where you're from. We'd like to welcome you to the show and hope that you have a good time as well. Okay, why don't we do this? Let's kind of switch over.
Hey Peter,
and,
I got a question. I got a question
sure.
on my Instagram live over here about we missed announcing what was the safest city in Hawaii 2 weeks ago.
Yes, we did. Hold on. I got it. I got it. I put it again. I did. We did screw up. We did screw up. So we are not going to screw up this time. We're not going to screw up this time. In fact, we're going to do it again. Thanks, Dylan. So here's the question, everybody. So there was we went over this at the last show, and I apologize. And we got so excited I skipped the answer. So here's the question. There was a town in the state of Hawaii that was named the safest town in the world to visit. What is that town? What do you think that town is? Put your guesses in the chat. I'd like you to take a crack at it. Let us know what you think the safest town in the world is to visit. You folks on Instagram, what is the safest town in the world to visit? We're going to try to take we can't directly post the comments from Instagram onto the screen, but we will recognize if the Instagram folks get it. So Dylan, keep track of your Instagram as well. I'm doing the same. What was the safest town in the world to visit? Yeah. Hawaii Island Properties by Rachel says Waikiki. Okay, good guess. And by the way, Rachel is from Kau. Awesome. Welcome, Rachel. It's great to see you. Great to have you with us. I'm really happy about that. All right, let's do a little bit of news over here. I got some hopefully some interesting stuff. I tried to pick this all out to hopefully to get some conversation going and get some thoughtful responses. So Honolulu, impossibly affordable. This was the headline. Honolulu is one of the 5 impossibly affordable U.S. housing markets. The annual Demographic International Housing Affordability Report said the rise of unaffordable markets was nothing less than an existential threat to the middle class. I don't know if I would agree with an existential threat to the middle class. The middle class is going to survive, but yeah, I'm possibly unaffordable. Well, you tell me. We're going to get Ashley's statistics, and when Ashley lets us know, we'll know if it's impossibly unaffordable. That's kind of a nice sensationalistic headline. But hey, speaking of fun sensationalistic headlines, so I call this Lahaina conspiracy fuel. You know, there's been some ever since the unfortunate, absolute disaster tragedy of the Lahaina fires last year. There were a string of insane conspiracy theories. Sharks with laser beams attached to their heads, space satellites beaming down microwaves to burn certain areas and leaving Oprah's home alone. It's just crazy stuff. But you know what? This stuff gets fueled, and here's why. This is why I'm calling this a conspiracy fuel, because the Maui County is trying to block the Attorney General's interview related to the 2018 Maui wildfires. Maui County officials are trying to block the State Department of the Attorney General from questioning the head of the Maui Emergency Management Agency about what the county learned from the Maui wildfires. Now, I don't have the details. I don't know why they blocked it. They probably have a good reason. But when the headline says they're blocking an inquiry and they don't want to answer it, that just fuels conspiracy. That's all that does. It just fuels conspiracy theory. So good luck. That's all I got to say. So another story here, hitting hotel peak pricing. Interesting enough, the numbers continue. It's probably due to the economy. I don't know. I didn't look into the details here, but it looks like the hotel occupancy fell in May as softness continues. Summer isn't coming in hot for Hawaii hoteliers, who saw hotel occupancy drop to its lowest level of the year in May and are expected in a continued downturn. Have we hit peak hotel occupancy? Have we hit peak hotel pricing? Their prices have been kind of crazy, $500 a night, $600 a night for hotels. Maybe it's having an effect. In the government efficient, in the I'm from government and I'm here to help efficiency, a headline here, a fun one here, 619 homes for 215 families. Yep. So FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Association, and the state are, this is like only government. They're building 619 homes for fire survivors, but there is a slight problem. There's only 215 households living in the emergency hotel program. So we're building 619 homes for 215 households. What are you going to do with the other 400? I don't know. Government efficiency. And then finally, a total freak out. downtown power outage chaos. They had a remarkable event, and I don't know if it's a sign of things to come, but downtown Honolulu power was out for 9 hours on Thursday, 9 hours. And it was right in the middle of the business day. People were stuck in elevators. Some elevators have backup power, so they got other elevators did not. Could you imagine being in an elevator for 9 hours? Maybe they weren't stuck. Maybe they came with the fire department. Maybe they got pulled out. Who knows? But it was kind of crazy. And traffic lights were out. It was pandemonium in downtown. And then talk about like terrible timing for headlines. Hawaiian Electric announced that they're going to, starting July 1st, Hawaiian Electric says that will cut off power to its customers when conditions prove too hazardous to life and property. Now, these are unrelated. There was a repair going on in downtown Honolulu. They were trying to repair some sort of underground cable, and something broke and whatever. But the other one is that Hawaiian Electric is going to start cutting power when things seem too hazardous. What's the effect of this? Well, you sue the heck out of the electric company, for example, for the Lahaina fires. They're getting sued in the billions or hundreds of millions, whatever it is. It's a lot of money they're getting sued for. So careful what you wish for, because they're like, okay, well, if we're going to get sued for all that stuff, we're going to shut the power down. So get ready, folks. Get ready for lots of power outages. Get ready. I was just off camera. I was telling Heidi, get ready for that. Make sure you got, all of you actually if you don't already have it, get some big battery backups for at least your fridge. You could plug it into the wall and plug it into your fridge, so when the power goes out, your fridge will keep going. I want to say a few more things to some folks over here before we go into our market review. Kahea Anzai, aloha from Kamuela, Hawaii. Excellent. Thank you, Kahea, for joining us. And Sue Sue, I got a slide for you. Thanks for putting up on the thing. I've got a slide that I want to show one of your old questions. I don't think we got to it for a while. Aloha from Southern California. Welcome, Sue. All right, let's do this. It is time to do a market update. Let's go counterclockwise. Let's go Ashley, and then Heidi, and then Dylan. Ashley, this is perfect here that you're first in line. So is the headline of Honolulu impossibly unaffordable? What is the impossibly unaffordable market looking like on Oahu, Ashley?
I mean, we are one of the highest, but we are not the highest price point nationally. I mean, San Francisco and New York still beat Oahu, and we're a tropical paradise in the middle of the Pacific. And we have a lot of factors that stabilize our real estate. So it is still one of the most stable markets. I think it can be very challenging depending on people's, situations, but a good plan with a good team can get you results. And so it just comes down to discipline and working out, strategic stepping stones and starting small and in areas that you may not necessarily, desire to begin with, but work your way up. And I literally did that myself. I lived in a duplex next to a crazy person that threw harpoons in my yard, but eventually made it to Kailua. So
wait, hold on. This person did what in your yard? Through what in your yard?
She would throw harpoons.
Harpoons?
Yes, harpoons. And dive harpoons, and and she would stab. It was a duplex, and she would stab the single walls with objects such as sharp objects. But the point is that I knew it was a deal, and I was able to leverage that and leverage the market because it was a strategic move, and then just handle it for 2 years until I could eventually do this and live here. So yes, it can be unaffordable, but a good plan will get you there. You also just can't sit on the fence for too long. Like, we had so many people we were working with the first 6 months of the year, and they're like, we're waiting for the interest rates to go down. We're waiting for the interest rates to go down. And they didn't go down. The market, we're now hit the summer market. The market's picked just in the last couple of weeks. The market has picked up so much. People who finally sat and wait, I'm going to wait for my kids to get out of school. There's too much going on. Well, now we have an increase in inventory. We have the interest rates that didn't go down at all. We have certain things that hit a lot of people's check boxes going off the market very, very quickly. Meanwhile, their property is not moving because perhaps it's a condo in a high rise, or doesn't have full coverage insurance, or doesn't have a view, certain things that don't move as fast. So you really have these split sort of scenarios, which are very specific to your geographic location and what your property type is and what it offers, whether it's going to fly off the market in under 20 days or if it's going to sit for a couple months. So we do see It is a hot summer market. It's exactly what you would anticipate a summer market to do. Things are going fast. Some of them will go above asking if it's priced right, has a view, et cetera, et cetera. If you price too high, it's still going to sit on the market, but it is getting more aggressive. And it's nice though. It's like a normal, nice hot summer market. It's not like the COVID hot market where you still had no room to negotiate. You still get to negotiate. You might not get a $30,000 credit anymore, but you can still get a credit that's reasonable. You can still get a price that's reasonable, and houses are overall priced pretty reasonably.
So the headline here is market normal, nice, normal summer hot market.
Yeah, it's not wildly aggressive here, but it is moving, and we do see a lot more houses coming on, and we do see things selling a lot faster. We are seeing multiple offers on a lot of things. You know, if you have a contingency sale or anything, that would be a bump in the road. It's harder to get your foot in the door like it was, before. But in the first few months of this year, that would have been, people were taking contingency sale offers, like weren't even thinking about it. People were giving you $30,000 credits to do buy down interest rates. Now you can maybe get $5,000, $10,000 credit, or you have to go above asking to get the bigger credit. So we still see negotiation. We still see things that is just favorable for buyer and seller, but it's moving.
It's moving. There you go. That's the headline. It's moving. Thanks, Ashley. That was a great update. Heidi, give us the what's the feel of going? What's kind of happening in the Maui market? What's new? What's different? What's your observation?
Yeah, well, year to date on Maui, I mean, the number of sales happening are about the same as last year, 2023. I mean, our market had already slowed quite a bit last year due to rising interest rates and other factors. But I mean, we're not seeing it really go down. Prices are actually steady and strong. Year to date, median price for a single family home on Maui is 1.3 million. For condos, 865,000. These median prices are up compared to 2023. And it's interesting because I hear all kinds of different opinions and ideas about the market. I mean, there's a difference between prices actually going down and every aggressively overpriced listing not selling at top dollar or over asking. So we are moving into a more balanced market. The opportunity in the market right now on Maui in particular is really the condominium market. Our supply of condominiums coming on the market has increased pretty significantly this year. And a lot of that is related to uncertainty of future use of vacation rental or not, and what's going to happen with that. So we are seeing more inventory in the condominium market. There are some cases where sellers are really motivated and people are getting good deals. But I mean, overall, it's pretty strong and steady market. Compared to last year, on average, buyers this year have been able to negotiate like an extra 1% off of the list price, but we still are seeing a good number of properties close at asking or over asking. So yeah, we're just moving along here. It's a great summer.
It is a great summer. And hey, by the way, I know that a lot of Dylan's team is with us for today, watching. So I'd love if you folks want to kind of chime in. Give me a one-liner. Give me a one-liner that we could throw up that won't take up multiple lines on the screen. I want a one-liner, gang. Just give me a headline so we could pop it up, and because I'd like to hear what you're all thinking too. I'd like to hear what everybody's thinking. And speaking of what everyone's thinking, here's a great comment here that I'm going to answer myself, because Ewar for him says $500,000 for a one bedroom, 500 square feet is not normal. Okay, according to what? According to what is not normal? What do you mean by not normal? Maybe not normal for like some part of the United States where a 500 square foot condo is going for, let's say, $200,000. But well, Heidi said that the median price is $800,000. So I'd say $500,000 for a condo where the median price is $800,000 is a deal. It's a deal.
Well, I will say on Oahu right now, as we speak today, there's 73 condos for under 300,000 that are one bedroom or larger. There's
That's not normal.
25 of them that are two bedrooms or larger for 300,000 or less. So there is options. Again, it just comes down to stepping stones, location, where you're willing to go, and that's on Oahu.
That is correct. If you're willing to live with a next door neighbor who's throwing harpoons into your yard and stabbing the walls with sharp objects, you can get a killer deal. I love that story. Actually, I got to tell you, I love that story.
I have a great saying that our lending partner shared. The perspective on what Ashley's talking about is his advice for when you buy your first home is you should buy a home that you hate from someone who hates it and then sell it to someone who will also hate it. That should be your strategy on your first home. And if that's your mindset, then you're going to be okay.
That's beautiful. Dylan, that needs to be your motivational thought, man. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. So Dylan, it's your turn. Give us the update. What's going on and what do you see happening? Here's what's interesting, gang. So by the way, Heidi, is going to be really interesting to see what the numbers start looking like as Maui goes into the 2024 time of the year versus the Lahaina fires. And so there's going to be interesting previous year comparisons, right? But overall, what's interesting to me is that
I wanted to comment on that briefly because I was having a conversation with some of our team members over on Maui, and they're seeing their clients are seeing a big increase in vacancies on vacation rentals. And so we were digging into that and kind of talking about it. And one of them had this amazing point, which is spot on, is the effects of the fires are being felt more in the tourism industry and the visitor industry today than they were in the months right after, because people plan their vacations 6, 8, 12 months ahead of time. And so post fires, that 6 months post the fires, people that had already had plans and hotel rooms booked, and they still came, right? I mean, some of them canceled, but a lot of them still came. But anybody who was looking to come to Maui in the 6 months after the fires didn't plan a vacation for 2024, right? And so a lot of folks are, and I don't know if Heidi's experiencing that too, but a lot of people who own vacation rentals or are in that industry are feeling that it's really, really slow. So not necessarily the real estate market, but just in general, the visitor market is a lot slower than it normally is. And that's probably because of the lagging effects of the fires on people's behavior post fires. Makes a lot of sense. So
makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So give us the Big Island update.
Yeah, Big Island. It's interesting. Month to date last month was 280 sales. Month to date this month is 213. So way less. I mean, June is underperforming May pretty significantly. I mean, almost by like 30%. And so overall, there has been more sales year to date across the board on all categories on the Big Island. But if June is a really slow month, it could really become even to what year to date last year was. So it's interesting to see. We've been seeing a steady increase in the number of sales every month, really for the last like 6 months. It's been tracking upwards, and we were above 400 sales last month, which is the highest it had been in like the last 8 months. But now we're seeing that June is probably going to be a very, very slow month. Maybe we'll end at 350 sales or something like that. So interesting dynamic, just looking at the month to date numbers before the month ends. But overall, everything's up. I mean, the number of sales is up. The median price is up. Median price is up 6.3% for homes. It's up 23% for condos. It's up 12% for land. So if you're just looking at the year-to-date median price, the market's strong. And we're just above 2,000 units of inventory, which is higher than it's been for a long time. We haven't cracked 2,000 for a very long time. And last month was the first time. And it's still hovering around 2,080. So little tiny increase in inventory, not significant enough to make a huge difference overall. But yeah, still very strong. And prices are still going up.
What's interesting, a couple of, now that we've been doing this show now for, we're pushing on 4 years now. I think it's been 4. Yeah, it's been 4 years because we started during COVID. What's been an interesting thing for me as a layman, not in the industry, I've been observing is that, there's a couple things that really stick out. One is how unbelievably strong the Hawaii real estate market is. I mean, look at what's going on. I mean, Heidi's, if we didn't know that there were fires in Lahaina last year, Heidi's report about real estate would have been just as normal as any other time. Things are happening, people are buying, people are selling, the market's fine, prices are slightly up or holding, whatever. It's all like, so the resiliency of the Hawaii market is really breathtaking. Really, we survived COVID, we survived these Lahaina fairs apparently. It's been like really amazing. That's one thing. And then the other thing is that because of that, there's never any like, oh my God, this is an amazing time to buy right now, or this is like a really horrible time to sell right now. It's like, it's always just a little tweak. It's a little tweak. It's like, yeah, okay, it's a little bit better. Yeah, you should get now before the rates go, rates ain't going to go down. So you better kind of do it now. Yeah, there's a couple. It's always like, there's never any like, oh my God kind of moment, right? There's never any, oh my God, sell, or oh my God, buy, or any, there's no, oh my Gods. It's just like, okay, it's amazingly stable. It's amazingly stable.
And
Well,
we're
I think
still,
people. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. You first.
How do you go?
It is a different market than it was a couple years ago. I mean, we were in such an aggressive market back in 2021, 2022 with multiple competing offers, people offering way over asking price. It is a little nicer market to shop in. As a buyer, you can actually go around and see a few properties and negotiate. It's kind of returning to just a market where both buyers and sellers have some leverage, and then it's negotiated in between. It's not the sellers have 100% of the leverage as it felt like in 2022. So for a buyer coming here and looking at properties, I think it's a nicer, more enjoyable time to do that. And as if you're looking for a condo, there are definitely more options and some really nice inventory these days.
I think it's amazing to see how this vacation rental thing plays out, right? It could be it depends on what the laws go on with Maui. If all of a sudden, if all these vacation rental properties are now no longer able to be vacation rental properties, it's going to be a whole other animal, or not. That's going to be a big thing. Cool. Anybody else want to comment on Dylan? You want to finish? You had a comment that you're going to add about the market resiliency, etc.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna comment on, we're starting to see the short-term sales from COVID, folks that bought and then like now are changing their mind and then leaving, and even in the last like 12 months, and I haven't seen anyone lose money yet. So, most of the time, you're pretty safe if real estate is a long investment, but we're seeing folks that are kind of turning around and then selling within 12 months, 18 months, and everybody's doing okay. And so that's just another testament to the strength of the market, right? As you can really kind of make a bad decision and buy and then have to sell 12 months later, which is not something you want to do necessarily in real estate. It's not the best strategy, but even if you do it, so far, we haven't really seen anybody, upside down or end up in a really bad position.
Yeah, kind of hard. Yeah.
And
go ahead.
I do want to mirror yes, we're coming into this hotter feeling summer market, but it's within certain price points and within certain property types. Like we have everything that is over $1 million to $2 million moving very quickly and very aggressive, but we still have that under $1 million and over $2 million that's moving really slow, and we're still gaining more inventory and then lower days on market. So just for comparison for Oahu, in this year to date, this month, not year to date, but the first to today, we had 408 sold properties on Oahu, but 253 of them were under $1 million. Last month, from the 1st to the 21st, there was 477 sales. So a little bit higher sales, about 70 more sales, but there was 358 of them under $1 million. So last month we saw a lot more movement under $1 million price point, and the market was pretty aggressive. This month we're seeing it is slower. There is less sales, but it's really aggressive in that higher price point. Well, $1 million to $2 million range.
It's always a collection of shifting things. So hey, we got some update here from Ewar for him. I have a 3,000 square foot home for $354,000. I'm going to assume that's what it says, with all upgrades. That's a hell of a deal wherever it may be living, I'm sure. That's not normal. Granted, it's not on the island, but you can live anywhere else except possibly New York in a large home and own some land. I was looking to buy in Waikiki. So hey, Ashley, is there anything that Ewar for him can get for about the $350,000 range for a 500 square foot condo in Waikiki? Is that available? Give me some thought on that if you have anything that you want to share. Alex, hey, welcome back, Alex. Good to see you, buddy. Is normal in California also? Places like San Diego, San Juan Capistrano, Malibu, etc. All the desirable locations are always pricier. Of course they are. Of course they are. It's called supply and demand. When there is little supply and high demand, prices go up. The reason why prices are for $1 million is because people are willing to pay it. That is, I love the simplicity of economics. My daughter, who is now a beast of an econ PhD, teaches me economics all the time. All right, so I think I'm gonna. Okay, before I forget, I do want to talk about, okay, what is the safest town in the world to visit? Okay, finally, drum roll, please. Dylan was going to guess something. I don't know if you gave your guess, Dylan. What was the town that you were going to guess was the safest town in Hawaii to visit? You remember? Oh, I think you're muted.
That's a good question, but I don't remember. If I had to guess, I would think like Mililani.
Okay.
Be my.
Yeah, drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. I don't know if this is a letdown or a let up, but the safest town is Honolulu. Safest town is Honolulu. Honolulu is the safest town.
That.
Yeah, I would totally disagree.
On Maui, when I'm watching the news at night, all that's on the news is something bad happens in Honolulu. I mean, we're just a small town over here on Maui.
I don't believe that. No, I would say Kahala, maybe like, I wouldn't say Mililani.
What are they calling a city, right?
Yeah, see, the town has to be like as a post office, like a postal address, right? For example, there's no such thing as Kahala. Yeah, there's no such thing as Kahala, Hawaii, right? So there's no, and there's no such thing as Makawao.
And I think,
maybe
for some measurements, Honolulu is the only actual city in Hawaii, right? I mean, from like some demographic size measurements, depending on metro, right? What do they call them? A metro
area. Area. Yeah, we'll have to pull that one up. And again, I'm just reporting it. Don't kill the messenger. I just made the report. NYC is shocked. What? Alex is, wait a minute, wait. We got jumped by locals when I was in the Navy. Well, I mean, hey, and Heather says, I think it was the safest, large city in the U.S. Yeah, I'll have to pull up the original slide deck. It was from the Berkshire Hathaway Travel Advisory, and that's what they said. So I'm just here to report the facts. I'm not here to comment on it, but the safest town is Honolulu, and that's what they say. So
Peter, to go real fast, and then there's three condos with the price per square foot under 358.
There you go. Three condos for a price per square foot under 350. Okay, there you go. I don't know if that's what EWAR for him wants, but that would do it. So there you have it. All right, excellent. Hey, a quick plug here. So how did you get here? Did you get here through the newsletter? Did you get the email invite from livinginhawaii.com? If you did, God bless. If you didn't, get to livinginhawaii.com. Go to the website. You'll get a pop-up. It's going to ask you for your email address. Pop it in, get your email in there so that you too will get the newsletter and get into us. All right, so let's move into some questions. So the most important questions are the ones that you are asking. So the folks that are with us right now live, you get priority. You got a question? Pop it in the chat. Let's hear it, and we'll take your question live right now while you're watching. Until then. We got a few folks who have submitted some things that we're going to talk about. Let me pull the first one because Sue is here. So Sue has, and I believe this is your one, Sue, because it says from Riverside, Sue from Riverside, California. So Sue wants to talk about contingency offers. Could you please also talk about contingency offers? Now that's interesting because you mentioned contingency earlier. In particular, making an offer contingent upon the sale of your current home, assuming it's on or ready to go on the market. What are the pros and cons? Is this doable or not really? What's the deal with contingency offers? Why don't we go, let's go in reverse. Let's go Ashley and then Heidi and then Dylan. What's the deal with contingency offers?
I mean, I have two right now. We're doing contingency sales. It just really depends on what is the property that you need to sell in order to get another property. It's a juggling act. I just tell our clients to be patient. Your replacement property or the one that you're trying to identify just might have to be something that's out on the market for a little while longer, not as well marketed, depending on how hot of a commodity, you're looking to upgrade into. So a lot of people right now are selling off their condos to get into single families, for example. Well, is that condo have 100% insurance? What's the maintenance fees look like? Is the condo saturated? Things like that nature. We can absolutely do it. There's the pros and the cons. The pros is that, you know, we're in a market where it's possible. We weren't in that market for the last couple of years. The con is you have to figure out if you're able to find a place to live in while you sell the property to make your offer more appealing, or are you going to do a lease back if the timing doesn't work out and the buyer doesn't want to wait to close on your house, and you want to make it more favorable for the buyer to come in with the highest price. So I guess in short, the con would be your negotiation leverage would be weakened, because you have a lot more factors that you need to juggle. And there's a lot of logistics to understand the cause and effect with each decision you make.
Your negotiation is, yeah, there is some downsides to the negotiation. Before we go on to Heidi, I want to get your perspective. I want to get some comments over here that have been coming in. First of all, from our wonderful member, Judy. Love you, Judy. Wouldn't have been living in Hawaii without the Living in Hawaii Islander Ohana. Thank you, Judy. Yes, it's been an amazing gift for me and for everybody who's joined us. If it's a dream for you, make sure you join. Thank you, Judy. Actually, we're coming up. We're going to be having a fall cohort. A fall cohort is coming up of the Islander Ohana. So thanks, Judy, for mentioning that. And if you haven't been a part of that, get on the newsletter. You'll be notified. Heather, thanks, Heather. Despite all the crime we hear about in Honolulu, I think it still pales in comparison to cities on the mainland. You know, Heather, I totally agree. Look, there's no question that there's been an increase in crime and vagrancy, et cetera, in Honolulu. And I think it's just an unfortunate reflection of a general trend that's going on the mainland. In fact, I was talking to my wife about this just the other day, and I said, you know, things are getting worse here, but you think it's getting worse here, go to any one of your favorite cities and see how it pales in comparison. Very good word, pales in comparison. Heather said the Ohana made it less intimidating to know I already knew people here who had gone through the big move before me. That's the whole cool. That's what's so cool about it. It's the island. It's the Islander Ohana. It's an Ohana, a group, a family of folks that are Islanders, people that have moved into the islands, and it's a great group. And I've been so honored to be a part of it. I'm so happy to be considering it. So, all right, enough about that. Let's go, Heidi. What do you want to add in? What do you tell people who ask you about, hey, can we put in a contingency offer based on the sale of an existing home or something of that nature? What's your response to Sue?
Well, I know contingency offers in some areas of the country are quite common. They're actually not that common here on Maui. You just don't have as much leverage, and listing agents here and sellers aren't necessarily going to want to see a contingency offer selling a property on the mainland in a totally different market they know nothing about. That said, I do have one contingency offer going on right now, and we're waiting for this other property to sell. I would say if you can position yourself in a way that you don't have to do a contingency offer, that's always preferable. That will give you the most leverage as a buyer, and your offer will be more likely accepted. But yeah, we do see them from time to time, and
they come and they go.
Yeah.
They come and they go. Excellent.
Yeah.
Hey, Sue, if you're still with us, Sue, if this has been helpful to you, I hope it has been. If you have any questions, this is the time to kind of throw your question if you have a follow-up on contingency offers. Dylan, what's your take on how do you respond to Sue, who's asking about, contingency offers? What are the pros and cons? Is it doable if you have a property that you're trying to sell? How do you answer Sue?
Totally agree with everything Ashley and Heidi said. And it's really situationally dependent. I mean, if it's a super hot property, multiple offers, and you have a contingent offer, you're just going to go to the bottom of the pile, period, right? I mean, you're going to be the lowest priority for that seller. If it's a property that's been on the market 150 days and the sellers are kind of desperate, they may be more open to considering it. The biggest thing I would recommend for Sue and anybody who's looking to do this is your mindset has to be in the right place. And what I mean by that is you have to be able to make concessions on both sides. Like you can't do a contingent offer and then get the highest and best price for the property you got to sell, plus get the best deal on the property you want to buy. You got to be prepared to maybe underprice your property that you got to sell so it sells quickly, and you create favorable terms that can get that sale closed in the shortest amount of time. And then you may have to overpay a little bit or give on terms on the house you want to buy to make it favorable to that seller, to give you the option to have the additional time you may need to market and sell your the property that you're relinquishing. So you just got to go into it with that mindset. You can't say, hey, I want to make a lowball offer over here with a contingency and then price my property really high so it takes a long time to sell on the other side. Like, it's definitely not going to work. So it really depends on your situation, what you're willing to do, and the seller's situation and what the seller's willing to accept.
That is a really, really, really good point. And I didn't think about that dynamic about you have to kind of, it's your mindset, especially about selling your property. Hey, I want to give a quick before I've got a question for you guys about this issue, but before that, I want to say hi to Vern Voodoo SDFX. How's it from Gatlinburg? Back again on the show. Moving back hopefully soon. Mahalos for all the great info. Vern, you are welcome. You are welcome. And hey, all you other agents that are part of, well, go ahead, Dylan. You were going to say something?
And the other thing is I would not assume that is what you have to do. Depending on your income, depending on your loan balance, depending on what you want to buy. I was a great example of this. I had assumed when I was going to sell my last house and I was going to buy the next one, that I would have to do it contingent or have to sell my house first and figure out a plan in between before I bought my next one, until I consulted with a mortgage professional and they said, no, you know what? You're good to go numbers wise. Up to this amount, you can buy, keep your other house, and then sell it afterwards, or just keep it as a rental, whatever you want to do. And so that would be the first thing I would recommend, is talk to a mortgage professional who can examine your finances, give you a big picture outlook on what your options are, and don't assume you have to do a contingent sale in order to buy. Because sometimes a lot of people are looking to do this, especially if they're coming from the mainland, they got a ton of equity, retirement type situation, really low mortgage on the other side. You know, you may qualify for $1 million here and then be able to sell your house afterwards, or even keep it as investment long term. So I would make sure that's, you're forced to have to do that first before you make the decision to.
Man, so okay, gang, it's Twilight Zone freak out moment here, because I was just the question I was going to ask you folks was, hey, what about, you've got a situation where there's, let's say, a retired couple, they're in their home, it's paid for, they're all set, but they kind of want to move out of the house because it's too big for them now, and they want to move into a condo instead. But how do they do it? Should they, there's a couple of condos that they want, that they got their eyes on, but those condos are not on the market, and we don't know when they're going to be on the market. Should they sell the house and rent and wait? Because when those condos come on, you want to buy it, right? Because it's, you don't want to be, you don't want to be in a contingency situation and all that kind of stuff. You want to be able to move into it and hit it, right? So, my question was going to be, what's your recommendation for this couple? And Dylan, you gave me the answer before I even asked it. How does that work? I don't know. So, but hey, so, but Heidi and Ashley, what do you say to this retired couple, homes pay for free and clear, but they want to move into a condo? What should they do? Should they sell the house and wait for that moment? Should they, go, there's the mortgage broker thing. What's your recommendation? Let's go. Heidi, what's your recommendation on that?
I totally agree. Speak with a good mortgage broker. Just find out what all your options are. I mean, you don't have to take out that $1 million loan, but it's nice to know what the options are. And then, I mean, the other questions are, how familiar are you with the area that you're moving into? I mean, if you've vacationed on Maui a ton of times, you want to be in this complex or this community, and you're just waiting for something to come up, that's one thing. But if you're just kind of thinking about exploring, wondering if you're going to like it, not sure what part of the island you want to live, I mean, renting might be a better choice for you. I mean, it is quite difficult to find rentals, but it is possible. And for some people, depending on the situation, that is best. But don't necessarily assume that you're going to get a better deal on the house or the condo next year in a couple years. So it's something that I mean, a real estate agent, without knowing your particular situation, can answer or advise, but it's really valuable to know all your options, and then you'll be able to decide what's best for you.
Know all your options. Good advice. Before we get Ashley's take on it, I want to say, give a response. Thanks, Sue. All good points. Thank you for answering my question. Sue, thanks for submitting it. I mean, we wouldn't have had this discussion if it wasn't for you. And the rest of you, you got a question, pop it in. There's also a link on the form. There's a link to the form on the Facebook page and also on the YouTube. Pop it in if you don't have it right now. Monica, we moved out of our home in 2017, rented it for 8 months until we found a home on the Big Island. Our home sold in 7 days with multiple offers over asking. Boom. Peace of mind to not have a contingency. That's, I think, my point. Like, you want to have that peace of mind. You want to be able to put down the money and, put down a competitive offer and not have to deal with, like as Dylan said, if you're a contingency, you're going to go right to the bottom of the pile unless the home has been sitting around for, half a year or 6 months, etc. Jan, welcome, Jan. I'm glad to know, Jan, that you're watching us. We've had a bunch of emails back and forth, you and I. I live near Columbus, Ohio. The violent crime here is hundreds of times worse than Honolulu is. I can't wait to get to Honolulu this fall. Thank you for all your help. Jen, I connected you with Ashley, so you are watching it. So Ashley, what's your take on what's your take to the advice to the retired couple with the paid-for home and they don't know what to do, whether they should sell the house and rent to jump in on that condo, or like Dylan's advice, go see a mortgage broker and see what possibilities are? What's your advice?
I mean, when you're talking to the mortgage broker, not all mortgage brokers are made the same, just like all agents are not made the same. So connecting with the right mortgage broker is essential as well. So I think it depends too. Are they getting any type of monthly income or stipend from their retirement? If so, you can do things like collateral loans, where you collateralize your existing property and then you don't have to come up with the down payment for the condo. And so you can say it's not contingent on any sale. You're just getting a collateral loan, and that collateral loan is contingent on your existing home appraising. And then after, you can move into the next house and then sell your property and be able to transition smoothly, as long as you're able to carry both mortgages for a few months. But then otherwise you should rent, but a lot of people don't want to move out all of their belongings for a period of time because maybe, it's harder to collect all of their stuff. So you can do lease back situations where you sell your property and you say, I want to lease back the home for 6 months or something of that nature. And you simultaneously go look for your replacement home. And that way it's not contingent on you selling your property. That's usually the max that you can lease back on a lot of situations, because the buyer's mortgage is going to require them to move in within 6 months often, if it's their primary. But again, to Dylan's point, you are then working at making your negotiations will just be less favorable for you. You've got to be reasonable on what price you're going to be selling, your expectations on that buyer.
Lots of creative answers here. Dylan, go ahead.
I would add one more thing for perspective. This is if I'm the listing agent, what I tell my seller when we're looking at a contingent offer, right, is this isn't one more contingency. There's already 10, 15, 17 contingencies in an offer of different things that you're going to have to get through during the sales process. You're not adding one more, you're doubling, right? Because there's all of those contingencies exist for the buyer on the sale of that other home. And so you're injecting a ton of uncertainty into the deal, because I cannot tell you how many times we've been through this, and then the buyer for the home that needs to sell loses their job mid-transaction and has to cancel, or somebody dies mid-transaction and has to cancel, or I had somebody cancel a transaction one time because they didn't like who won the election, the presidential election, and they were uncertain about the economy, so they canceled mid-transaction. So, I mean, there's a million reasons why somebody will cancel a transaction, and you are subjecting the sale of your home now to all of that, right? And including the buyer's explicit contingencies for their contract on your home. So it's exponential. It's not one more contingency. It's like 10 or 15 more contingencies.
Interesting. Lots of, the complications. Hey, I want to give a shout out. I can't do it. I can't bring it up on the screen, but I had a comment on the Instagram from Trump-Ut. So Trump-Ut, I don't know if it's spelled correctly or not, but Trump-Ut. Speaking of people who I don't know the story of who got elected that they canceled one or the other, but hey, We wish them the best. We wish them the best. Hey, Steve, before we move on, Steve got it through something. And hey, thanks, Steve. Solar condo and leased back for a few months and gave us more time to look for our current home. Harder to find a buyer, perhaps, but in this market, I think it's a good option. That's an interesting. This has been great. A lot of options from all of you. It just kind of really reminds me that you really need to get a seasoned, experienced professional on your team, because the layman, I'm clueless. I don't know what the hell the options are. I don't know what's going on. I never, I've bought and sold a handful of properties in my lifetime, but that's just for me, for my own personal sake. I haven't done it on a professional basis by any means. So it's good to get a pro. Good to get a pro. All right. Speaking of pros, let's move on. We're going to go to some diamonds and deals over here. These are some properties that our friends have picked out that they want to highlight, and so it's always kind of fun. It's like Christmas, and a lot of times we get lucky, and there's like a interesting synchronicity. Let's find out. So, what is this home in Ka'anapali, Maui? Looks beautiful. Heidi, tell us about it.
So this is a very unique cottage in a community called International Colony Club. It was built originally in 1964. It was owned by Lynn Factor of the Max Factor Cosmetics family. Then it was owned by an NFL football player. Then it was owned by my clients. All built out of redwood, really built to take in the natural environment. You have an ocean view. There's a pool right in front. There's a parking space for a golf cart right in front. You just go down the hill. You're less than half a mile to the beach. This is one of the few communities on Maui that you can legally rent as a short-term vacation rental. And it's not on the chopping block to be phased out, so it can continue to be used as a vacation rental. And it's a freestanding cottage. Between the interior square footage and the enclosed lanai, it's 1868 square feet.
Man, that is that is a really cool. Something happened in my brain, Heidi, when you said golf cart parked in front. I'm just imagining, this mythical retired couple I'm talking about, right? And living in this home and jumping in their golf cart and driving down with their golf cart to the beach and, having a good time and going back up to it. It's a beautiful looking house. It looks really cool. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. That's good fun. Okay, so what do we got next over here? We have something looking cool in Kailua. Ashley, what are we looking at?
So this is my personal condo that I purchased, and it's a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom. It's got a garage. This is part of Kukilakila. It's a lakefront association, and this is at Road 1, which has the pool. It's heated during the winter, big barbecue area to hold birthday parties. You're right next to the boat ramp. Next to this condo. It's got just a really stunning remodel. There are no 5 bedrooms in this association. Someone had built this 5th bedroom, so there's a full bed and bath downstairs for people to age into the home. This community is really big on like families and or retirees. It's a strong mix. There's not tons that comes on the market very often. Definitely the most beautiful one we've seen in there. Has its own little yard. The community, the families, they like do movie night in the middle of the courtyard sometimes, and they hui up and play with each other's kids and stuff, which is really nice. And it's right across the street from Ke'elepulu Elementary. It's a Blue Ribbon awarded school. There's only about, I think, 358 of them in the nation, 2 in Hawaii, and that's one of them. Just overall awesome, stunning property for right under 1.5, and you just really can't find anything that has this in Kailua for 1.5.
I was getting short circuited in my brain was short circuiting when you said 5 bedroom, 3 bath, 2-car garage condo. It's that last word that. Wait a minute, where in that? Yeah, whatever, townhome. I mean, that's a lot. I don't see 5 bedroom, 3 bath, 2-car garage condo or even townhome. That's kind of that's a rarity, isn't it?
It's super rare. The largest footprint in this so this is about 1,881 square feet. You do not feel like you're in a townhouse when you walk in. It's extremely well lit, and you feel like you're in a single family home. There's 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms upstairs. The ensuite that you see in the bottom right here in corner, that's all an Italian marble, floating cabinets, underlit, white oak doors. And then there's 3 lanais. You have this large patio area when you walk in that you can barbecue and hang out in. A lot of people hang out in their garages there. But then you have 2 lanais upstairs off of 3 of the bedrooms. There's split ACs. It just feels, you can't hear the neighbors at all. You really feel like you're in a single family. And the location of this one is up along the street too. So you can being 5 bedrooms, you might have more cars than the 2-car garage. So you're right, able to park on the street side and enter through your back gate. So yeah, very rare. They don't have 5 bedrooms. We just kept the bedroom someone had converted previously, and it worked out well. In case you have an older kid or someone who wants to, like I said, age into it.
Hey, I know someone who's getting their wetting their whistle here. It's Kinaya. Did I miss the homeowners fees? No, you didn't miss it. You didn't ask. So let's ask. Ashley, what are the homeowners fees on this house?
It's only $908. I say only because, I mean, most HOAs in Kailua especially are over 1,000, if not over 1,200. And it's a 10-acre parcel, lakefront. There's a lot of landscaping. There's a walking path that's like a half a mile or more along the lake. And you have, like I said, the boat ramp, the heated pool, the barbecue area, a small weight room. And there's drive around management, security, and only $900 a month.
Man, that I concur. That it sounds like this is Kinaya. I think that Kinaya, this sounds like you, because Kinaya has a wonderful family, and what I was going to say, Ashley, was that what you mentioned about this was that it seemed like a super family friendly place, like big ohana, everyone's getting together. Like you said, the movie theater sounds like a really good place to.
Well, my daughter actually plays in this area. So it's 110. I don't want to take too much time on this, but it's a 110 unit complex, and they broke it up into 5 roads. So you don't have a lot of through traffic in each one of your little communities in your streets. Road 1 in this association is sort of known as like the family area, because you have so many young kids that play out in this courtyard in this area. They like race around. If you look at that bottom left photo, the little island next to the red dot, they race around there. They ride their bikes. They do baseball with each other. And like my daughter goes, and hangs out in this neighborhood quite often. In fact, that's why we ended up buying it and flipping it, is because it was really, really run down. And my daughter was playing in this neighborhood around this house. And I was like, I want to fix it up nice. And who knows, maybe a new friend will move in for her to play near.
There you go. So Kinaya, so here we go. So we're running actually late on time, but I'm going to drop this one in. Oh boy, that's Amaze Balls. We'll be in town July 1st. Hopefully we'll be available still. Kinaya, make sure you get a hold of us. Lock the doors. I want to see it. Okay. All right. So Kinaya, send me an email, will you? So I can hook you up with Ashley and hopefully get you guys into it. That'd be really, really fun. Love to see that. All right. We need to move on well, I don't want to rush this because it's so much fun, but here, we may run a little bit of a late show.
I'll be quick. And again, we don't plan this stuff, but it's perfect for the comments earlier, right? It's all right. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,300 square feet for under 400,000. Totally remodeled in Hawaiian. This is in Hawaiian Parks, which is a little bit further south Puna, so it is on the east side. But I mean, check this out. It's a killer house, man. For $400,000, can't beat that. So there you go.
What's the land size?
It's 15,000 square feet, so it's not a big lot. It's a third of an acre, right? So it's plenty of land.
15,000 square feet, relatively speaking, for Hawaii side. I mean,
it's
for
huge.
Big Island, it's small.
Yeah, compared to Oahu, it's huge, though. Yeah.
For Oahu, it's huge. So I were for him. There you go. Here's your home for $400,000 in Hawaiian Parks. 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,348 square feet. Excellent. Hey, thanks, gang. It's been really great. Let's. We're gonna have to go quick over here. So, but we can't miss out on closing. So look, if you gotta go, you gotta go. We're gonna go late. We don't normally go late. I like to end on time, but we had too much fun today, thanks to you. And there you have it. Oh, by the way, so Heather says get on it. So Heather and Kinaya they know each other through the Islander Ohana. Sounds perfect, and I would love you to move here. Already inviting myself over. Yeah, that's right. So Kinaya, you have to realize something. If you do this, Islander Ohana party at Kinaya's, right? This is definitely happening. So okay, so let's get this going over here. Closing thoughts. Give us your closing thoughts and what they mean to you. Ashley, you go.
There is no testimony without the test. I think that we all run into some challenging times, and instead of submitting to them, just realize that those are your tests in life, and eventually that becomes your testimony.
That's great. I love that. And there is no testimony without the test. And Kenai, party of a lifetime. Yes, Kenai, that would be actually a really, truly a fun thing. Just because I know that Hawaii's been in your heart, in your dreams for years and years and years, decades probably. And so it's always fun to kind of see that come around. All right, Heidi, what's yours and what does it mean to you?
Each of us can make a difference every day. What will you do today? This is just a realization of the power we all have to influence the people around us and make their lives better or worse, hopefully better. And just a consciousness of just knowing, I mean, it might just be an ordinary day, but what can you do to brighten someone's day, or what can you do to make a difference? It's just a good
Excellent.
reminder for myself.
It is. It is. I love it. And what I like about it is that it's like, what will you do today? Like, not like, what will you do, whatever. It's today, right? It's like right now, because all we have is right now. Excellent. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Heidi. Dylan, is this yours?
This is mine. Yeah. It's all connected, right? Trust the next chapter
All
because
connected.
the author is you, right?
That's right.
So it's always what the next chapter looks like is completely within our control. So what you do today matters, but also what you're going to do a year from now matters, and you can decide on what that looks like.
Trust the next chapter because you are the author. Well said. Well said. Well said. Alex says nothing is impossible. The word itself say I'm possible. I'm possible. There you go.
I love that.
Yeah, that's a good one, right? Nothing is impossible. The word itself says I'm possible. Excellent. Love it. Love it. All right. I'm going to close with mine, of course. Proverbs. This is a little bit counter, but it is what it is. The perverse man will be filled with the fruit of his ways, and a good man with the fruit of his deeds. It's all about the fruit of your deeds. Are you the perverse man or are you the good man? That's what you want, or good person. In today's gender neutral world, are you the perverse person will be filled with the fruit of his ways, and a good person with the fruit of his deeds? Excellent. Heather says loving it. Dylan and Alex gives it the amen. Amen. All right, folks, let's say goodbye counterclockwise. Ashley, Heidi, Dylan, say goodbye.
Have a good day, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Aloha, everybody. Happy Friday.
Yep. Have an awesome weekend, you guys.
Have a great one, folks. Have a blessed one. Aloha. See you in 2 weeks.
See Dylan next week.